Good evening. Good evening, everybody. We are doing this is a webinar format. Glad to have everybody here. Gonna let folks get on and then we will get started. All right. We got several hundred folks. I'm so excited that we are almost to convention. There we go. Okay, we're getting up to about 700 people. Hopefully you all do me a favor in the chat, mark if you can hear me well. You can't hear, the volume is very low. Let me try that. Okay, you can hear well? Okay, great. Sounding loud and clear. Good. For anybody for whom I am coming in a little bit low, try to just turn up the volume on your phone or your computer. We got hundreds of people. So glad to have you all in. We're going to get started in just a minute. I want to give everybody a chance to come on in. Those of you who are following along on YouTube, y'all are welcome as well. Glad to see that. Wonderful seeing all the feedback. It has been fantastic. We got representatives from all over. We've got folks from Williamson County and Hood County and McLennan, and I saw a couple of Kamal. There we go. I see Dallas County and San Patricio, very nice. Llano and Hidalgo, very nice. Johnson, Brazoria. Yeah, we've got fantastic turnout. All right, we are now approaching 800 folks, and I want to respect your time, so I want to get going. Yeah, the People's Republic of Austin. All right, well, everybody, I am Republican Party of Texas Chairman James Dickey. Thank you for being a delegate or an alternate to our 2020 state convention. I think we can all agree this is a convention to remember. Let me tell you, I am so proud of your persistence, your tenacity to stand and fight with us for our Republican Party of Texas throughout this pandemic. Since March, in nearly every party update, I have echoed President Trump's sentiment that we are all in this together. And seeing our convention process through together has not been a walk in the park, but it is always worth trying to do the right thing. From the beginning, the Democrats have been pushing an agenda of fear and never letting a good crisis go to waste. But we have pushed them back every step of the way. From day one of this pandemic, the Democrats were fighting for a ballot by mail process, boldly telling us that they would be happy to collect mail-in ballots at their headquarters and hang on to them for a few days before they forwarded it. We fought back, stood up for an in-person runoff election, which has just ended minutes ago tonight. And we kept fighting in spite of the Democrats attempting to shut down our businesses and our economy, not letting their Beto-baiting voter registration program threaten our success over the last 3 months. We had our first ever voter registration project through the RPT Volunteer Engagement Project, and we exceeded our goal of 100,000 new Republican voter registrations. And we did it 3 months ahead of schedule. We are setting new records and registering new Republicans. The Democrats would love for the pandemic to hurt our volunteer recruitment, but we persevered, and we now have 5,000 volunteers signed up on our path to victory for November. Volunteers who helped us exceed our 100,000 new registered voter goal through the 10K for 10R program. Thank you to everyone who's been a part of this. The Democrats have done all they can do to stop our momentum, but they have run into the red wall of the Republican Party of Texas. And they gave it another shot with our convention in Houston. A Democrat mayor shut us down at the last minute, but we fought back with our team of valiant attorneys, staying up for days to make our case, which we took all the way to the Texas Supreme Court. We have adapted under the circumstances, and the Democrats' best efforts cannot hold us back. Nothing will stand in the way of Texas Republicans handling the business of our state convention to elect our presidential electors for President Donald J. Trump. We will never give up. We will not cower. We will fight to the finish for this convention to elect our presidential electors and to win in November. So thank you for standing together, for fighting together. Thank you for making the Republican Party of Texas the greatest state Republican Party in America. And thank you for standing together to win together for President Donald Trump and Republicans here in Texas this November, up and down the ballot. And now we are walking through this part of the convention process together. So we're going to cover a handful of topics through this training. I find it helpful to start at the very beginning with opening Zoom. So I'm actually going to share part of my screen here and show you a little bit of what we're doing. So let me go to that in Zoom, and I will share part of my screen. And that will be, there we go. Okay, so for anybody that you have who either doesn't have a computer that they want to install software on, or doesn't already have Zoom, or isn't using a phone, they can simply go to the email that we sent, copy and paste the link that we send into any browser window. And as you can see, it allows you to open Zoom because I have the application already installed. If you did not, it would tell you to download and run Zoom. But you don't even have to do that. You can join from your browser. If you join from your browser, you're not even installing software, you're just using your browser. You type in your name, and obviously when we're doing this, you're going to want to type in your full name so that whoever the caucus chair is can respond and can address you appropriately. And then you click join the meeting. Now there's a meeting password that came with the link. And then there's also my email address. Okay, and there you go, without installing a thing, without doing anything different. Now it's going to give me a weird shot, so I'm going to stop that right there because it puts me in an endless loop where it's showing me my video of me showing. But that's it. That's how straightforward signing into Zoom can be for our meetings once we give you the link. And as we did in the email tonight, if you've got any friends who are following along, or if you're following along on this on YouTube and you've had any concerns about installing the software, and by the way, we've got some comments about Zoom. I will let you know that the president's campaign, President Trump's campaign, and the Republican National Committee both use Zoom. And many other states have used it for their online conventions. So it is absolutely a system to use that has been well vetted. So I'm going to stop the share there. That's the main point on YouTube, or sorry, on Zoom. Then, and I showed you how to log in. Oh, actually, I did want to show you the chat function. So to do that, I'm going to actually have to stop my video for a second. Actually, you know what? For those of you, we've got nearly 1,000 people on Zoom right now. For all of you who are in Zoom, go ahead and down at the bottom of your window, there's a control bar that has the mute indicator, stop the video indicator, or the video indicator. It says participants and chat. If you will click on chat, if you're not already using it, and I love how people are using it to chat, that's wonderful. you should see a control bar at the top of that that has a few different devices. Okay, yeah, it's possible that you don't on this. Let me see if I've got an option to add it. Okay. All right. Well, on this only applies on the version that has 10,000, where I'm not able to show you those screens. We're going to send you, yeah, in Q&A, you can chat. There is an option to raise your hand. We've got, there we go. We have 7 attendees who've raised their hand. Now we got 16. Go ahead. Y'all raise your hand. We got 153 people. We got 240. We got 418 people who have raised their hands. 566. 500, 640, 655. We now have over 1,000 participants. We got 671 who've raised your hands. Yeah, chat, raise hand, and Q&A are on the are on your menu items in the webinar. And so, yeah, you're doing the raise hands. We had hundreds of people raise their hands. So clearly you guys got it. When you are in Caucus, it's going to be that kind of function, like that raise hand function, where you'll be able to indicate on whether or not you have a motion to make, whether you'd like to be recognized by the speaker. So that's it for Zoom. The next question, when you are in the meetings, we didn't do it tonight because I wanted everybody to be in, but for your caucuses, there'll be a waiting room for you to be let into, for you to be able to address the body. And that way the caucus chairs will be able to validate that you are someone who's got the right to address the body. That is pretty straightforward process that they will let you in. And we'll talk about that in a second. So how to access Meeting Pulse. So participation, listening and speaking, and listening and speaking happens through Zoom. Voting happens through a system called Meeting Pulse. And if you all will go ahead and go to on your computer or your phone, any device you'd like, go to meet.ps. That's meet.ps/SD59. So SD like Senate District 59. Obviously, we don't really have a Senate District 59, but the SD59. So if you go to meet.ps/SD59, you will get an empty page. Go ahead and go there. I want you to be there for a minute. And while you're doing that, I'm going to share this screen again because I want to show you. Okay, so you should be seeing a screen that looks like this. Now, the updated convention schedule is on our 2020 state convention page. And you can get there by going to conventions and 2020 state convention. And if you scroll down here, you can see schedule to the Vision 2020 convention schedule. I've already pulled that up, and this is the 2020 convention schedule. Now, as you can see, temporary rules, platform, and legislative committees are still going to be meeting tomorrow. We've got an SREC meeting where actually we need to update this. It's going to be at 2 o'clock tomorrow. Caucus chair training. So the SD and CD, Senate District and Congressional District caucus chairs are going to be trained tomorrow night on the back end pieces that they need to work with. They're going to be trained on that tomorrow night. And then we've got Thursday. Thursday, we open up the convention at 9 a.m. And then at 1 p.m., we have the first senatorial district caucus. And at that, we're going to elect the permanent committee members. So as we walk through that meeting, I'm gonna bring you back here. I'm gonna stop sharing. So everybody go to meet.ps/SE59. Yes, there we go. Meet.ps/SE59. Go to that page. So now if I'm the caucus chair, I will open the meeting. We will vote on our officers. Actually, let me go ahead and pull up that. Okay, so as caucus chair, the caucus chair for your Senate District Caucus will first handle the credentialing, make sure that's done, and then report the full delegate voting strength to everybody so everybody knows. Then they'll have the opening ceremonies and the call to order, and then they'll appoint temporary secretary and officers. Yeah, it's not, yeah, it's meet.ps/SC59. And yes, it should be a blank page, just like what I was showing you. It says no polls currently running, right? Okay, so I open it up. I open up the Senate District Caucus, then appoint the temporary secretaries and officers, and then we start the election of the permanent members committee. So the first one up is a permanent member to committee on credentials. And so let's say we have, we've got the person who was the temporary credentials committee member. They're there and they do want to be the permanent credentials committee member. And we've got 2 or 3 people running for the office as well. Well, then we will start, we already have behind the scenes a pre-canned election setup. And I'm going to start the poll. So you guys go ahead and start marking in your votes. And as you see, you can't see how the votes are till after you vote. So meet.ps/SD59. Okay. All right. Now, if we want, if I, as a caucus chair, have this. While you guys are voting, all right, we're going to change it up. So let's say we're now starting it again. So there you go. You can now see it's just Mary Smith and Tom Jones, right? Mary's got a. Now, this is obviously a very simple example, but that is the system that lets you do your votes. So by trying it out tonight, what you have just proven is that your internet connection works and that your ability to cast your vote works. And we've got hundreds of votes in right now. Now, a couple of you have noticed that, you know, it reports just general percentages and it didn't check to see who you were. And that's absolutely true because this is just a sample to display. Each of you, when we are ready for the convention, you will have already been credentialed and you will get a custom link that is a credentialed link. I'll let you do. So that it is that straightforward. So on any browser, on any web page, right now, just type this to see what the sample is. You can be on a computer and an iPad. You can be on a computer and a phone. You can be on 2 different web pages for your phone. You can be on an app and your phone, right? So what you should be seeing right now, I'll share my screen. So on the Zoom, you're participating in the meeting. On your voting, you're seeing a very simple voting front. And you can see how many people have taken the poll. 726 people have taken the poll. And I'm going to vote for Tom Jones. And so now my answer was submitted. Now the difference is once we are done and you are in your particular Senate district, once you are credentialed and you're in your particular Senate district caucus or your congressional district caucus, you will be able to see your votes, the other people with you. You'll be able to see it by county. You'll be able to see the weighting applied. You'll be able to see the total. The reason why Meeting Pulse was chosen was because of its scalability, but also because of its ability to allow tellers from all of the candidates to be able to see the results, even if they don't have the eligibility to vote in the race. So that is the straightforward system. You have a web page on any device, and you're watching on Zoom on any device. And then participating in the meeting, you do that via Zoom as well. So that's it. That is how the process works. We're going to do multiple more trainings. So if you feel like you missed anything, by all means, you can watch this again. Let me get back to stopping sharing my screen. And